Okay, so sometimes I get questions about how lines can be split in a Beaver Builder heading module. So I'm going to take the time here and show you how to do that with one of my more useful modules, at least in my opinion, and that's the PowerPack Smart Heading module. So I have a blank canvas here right now. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Smart Heading module and drop it onto my canvas. And once you have that loaded up, you'll notice that I've got an area for title and description. So this kind of combines, this Smart Heading module combines separate modules. It combines effectively two different heading modules and a text module all into one unified module. That's sort of the way I like to think about it. And so anyway, I have it on here, and you notice I have title. So if I go and edit this and come over to the general tab here, I've got a place where I can change the heading assignment for this heading module. So if I can set it to an H1, and so for SEO purposes you can change all that stuff around, but I'll go ahead and I'll just leave it as H1, and then I can come down here and put in a title, and maybe I'll put in a title something like how to split lines in a heading module. Oops. All right, so we have this. Now, what if I want to take and split this right at the how to? One of the things I can do, and this will work in just about any module or any time you have one of these lines, is I'm just going to delete the space because I don't need that space there because I'm going to break the line right there. I'm just going to enter in a break, manual break here. So it's the less than sign, BR, right, greater than sign. And you'll notice now when I put this code in here, that's telling it to break right at that spot. So you'll see then that I've got the break splitting it right there. You need to note that anywhere this is at, that's what's going to happen. It's going to break this into two lines. There's another way to do this, however, and that is we can have dual headings in the PowerPack module. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that break and leave my space there. I'm back to one line. I can say, let's do dual heading. And what the dual heading does is it creates a title and a secondary title. This is basically title line 1, title line 2. If I look at my text here now, you'll see secondary title is appended to the end of this. Well, that's this secondary title right here. Well, I can have that be anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, go down to the secondary title and paste that in. So now I have two title lines. I have a title and a secondary title. It's made up as one line, okay? One of the reasons why you might want to do this is if you wanted to have this secondary part be in a different color. So for instance, I could go over to my style, and now I've got a title tab, I'll go that, and I've got a secondary title. I could take my secondary title tab and come down to the color, and maybe I'll switch the color for the font, and I'll put in one of my colors here. So now you can see I've got my first title line. I'll go back to the general tab. I've got my first title set to be how to, and that's in this color font. And then I have a secondary title in a different color, and it's this part. So that works out great, and you can do the same thing when you can make it with font colors, you can make it with size, italics, all that kind of different attributes that you put onto it. The other thing you can do then is say, well, I do not want this to be on a single line. I want it to be split, which was the original intent of this little video. I simply come down here and say stacked instead of in line. When I say stacked, it will split it into 2 lines. So hopefully this was helpful, gave you a little bit of insight. I don't want to make the video too long, but have fun playing around with that. Oh, and one other thing, if you want to get rid of this description, which is there, come down to the general. Down here in the general, you just have a full text box, and you can just get rid of description, and that's done.